Isn't it funny? Not funny, haha, but funny, amusing, and notable how many Democrats have gotten in trouble with the release of all the new Epstein emails?
Let me tell you something. I don't need to get advice on how to question anybody from any individual. I have been a lawyer for 30 years. I have been a narcotics prosecutor in New York City. I have had the honor of being a political appointee at the Justice Department after September 11th as a Republican appointee in the Bush administration. I know how to question individuals.
And yes, that brings us to Stacey Plaskett, the Democratic congresswoman from the Virgin Islands caught red-handed texting with Jeffrey Epstein the day of Michael Cohen's testimony before a House committee. She texts him first thing in the morning, something about Cohen is going to testify about Trump's grades, a little bit of a cryptic reference, but I think that's what she meant by her text. Epstein's texting with her during the day and during the hearing, giving her advice on what questions to ask Michael Cohen that she apparently takes up. This is highly embarrassing. There was a censor resolution. She escaped it, but the defense she got from her colleague, Jamie Raskin, was notably absurd.
Well, they want to give them another headline, which is that they've arraigned a Democratic member for taking a phone call from her constituent, Jeffrey Epstein, in the middle of a hearing. And of course, I don't think there's any rule here against taking phone calls in a hearing.
Oh, yeah, taking a phone call from a constituent. Who can be against that? A constituent's called and asked, my Social Security check is late. What can I do about it? And the congresswoman's helping out with that. Who can be against that? But of course, that's not remotely what's going on here. Now, it's true that Epstein was technically a constituent. He had his official residence in the Virgin Islands, but he was conspiring with Plaskett about what questions to ask Cohen, what information to try to elicit to nail Donald Trump. They were in communication throughout this hearing. At one point, he complimented her on how she looked on TV and the outfit she was wearing. She thanked him. Another point, he asked if she was chewing something, and she said no, she just developed this habit of chewing the inside of her mouth in middle school, and she clearly wanted his advice on what to ask Cohen, and he provided it. He said that something Cohen had said had opened up a line of questioning potentially on other higher-ups in the Trump organization who might know information, and he referred to Rona Graff just by her first name. He misspelled it, and it was in all caps. Her name is spelled R-H-O-N-A. Epstein texted R-O-N-A, and Plaskett asked, is that an acronym? You got to tell me. I'm coming up within minutes here with my questions. He says no, it's his assistant. And then when her time for questioning comes up, she asks these sort of questions that Epstein was suggesting, including about Rona. She still didn't know who Rona was. She mentions Miss Rona or Mrs. Rona to Cohen, and Cohen has to explain that's Rona Graff, Trump's assistant. So she clearly was working closely with Epstein, and it's absurd for her to deny it. And this was not a random thing. She knew Epstein very well. She took tons of campaign contributions for him when she knew or should have known, or it was readily available, the information that Epstein had pled guilty to crimes in the state of Florida involving minors. And if she wanted to find out more of that, she certainly could have, but that would have been inconvenient because he was a constituent, and a constituent who happened to be extremely helpful to her. So this is the irony of these Epstein emails that have been released to this point. They're supposed to damn Donald Trump, and there have been embarrassing headlines, and many of them misleading, but Trump cut Epstein off 15 or 20 years ago, while all these people, many of them Democrats, not all, many of them Democrats, were still in communication with them, and in the Congresswoman's case, still taking money from him and still taking advice from him on how to carry out her official duties. When she was done questioning Cohen, Epstein texted, "Good job." and she thanked him. So please don't insult our intelligence with your ridiculous denials, Congresswoman. We know what was going on, and it was a disgrace. I'm Rich Lowry, over and out.